guys should come in tight. You should come in tight. Are there any administrators that we want? No?
Yeah.
No one wants to stand with us? Nobody wants to stand? Wow. Yeah? Yeah?
There.
Where's John?
Hometown. He's right behind you.
Oh, you are? Okay, great, excellent. All right, well, good afternoon, everyone. It is great to be here in Conway, great to be in Franklin County. This is such a wonderful and beautiful part of our state. And we're here today to talk about something really important, and that is making the investments that we need to make in basic infrastructure. Roads, bridges, fixing culverts, repairing the things that get in the way of quality of life and fundamentally impact people's health and well-being, because you can't get from here to there without a lot of challenge. And I'm just grateful to be here today, joined by members of my administration and team, our Secretary of Transportation, Monica Tibbetts-Nutt, our Highway Administrator, Jonathan Gulliver, Fran Henning, who's our district champion. You should come up here. Thank you for what you do. Our Director of Rural Affairs, Ann Goby, and our Director for Western Massachusetts, Kristen Alecko. All these folks are here working hard for you out of our administration. I also am so grateful to be joined by amazing colleagues in the legislature. With us today, Senator Joe Comerford, Senator Paul Mark, Representative Natalie Blais. Thank you for all that you do, including considering the proposal that I filed to bring about more funding for transportation. We just came from a meeting with a number of town administrators, and I want to give special thanks to Linda Dunleavy of FERCOG, the Franklin County Regional Council of Governments, for convening. How many town administrators did we have? I think 20, yeah, almost all, 26, to have a conversation about our idea for how we can make better use of funds and what communities need in terms of support. And it was really, really insightful. And we are in Conway, so I want to thank our town administrator, Veronique Blanchard, for hosting us in this beautiful, beautiful library. Some of the things that we talked about roads and bridges that need to be modernized and repaired, the need for better transportation to support resident mobility, create economic opportunity, the need for more resilience to floods. I was out here, was it a year ago? I mean, it's a near weekly occurrence that there is some severe weather event that wreaks all sorts of havoc with basic infrastructure. And the need, ultimately, for more funding and more equitable funding statewide from the state. And that's what we talked about. I come to this, having taken office 2 years ago, when we saw that a lot of these needs that we're feeling now have been the result of, frankly, decades of neglect, not making the investments that we've needed to make. And just as at home, if you don't take care of something small, it only becomes bigger, and over time, it only becomes more expensive to deal with. And frankly, that's what happened in our state for many, many years. Our very first summer in office, we stood with many in this region as we saw the severe flooding around the Connecticut River and elsewhere. We were determined to do things differently as an administration. We started by calling on a new grant program for rural roads. This year, we intend to go further through a game-changing transportation funding plan. Basically, what is this? So, we have this surtax now that the voters passed a couple of years ago. That generates revenue for the state. Half of that revenue is supposed to go to education, half of that revenue is to go to transportation. What our budget chief figured out is that the money that is going to transportation, we can use that money, leverage that money to access capital, as any other business or corporation does, and have at our disposal a lot more funds. So because of that, that's no new taxes, okay? That's dealing with existing revenues and smart fiscal management. We estimate and propose that we can spend $8 billion over 10 years on transportation and do that statewide. Under our plan, communities like Conway and others across Franklin County will see the largest percentage funding increases in the state. This begins with an investment in what's called Chapter 90. These are the funds going out to cities and towns for basic infrastructure, transportation. We're going to increase by 50% to $100 million annually. And every dollar of that additional $100 million will be subject to mileage-based formulas. I'm a kid who grew up in a small town, 1,100 people at the time, low population. I know that's a massive population compared to some of the communities here in Franklin County. But for too long, the way that funding was distributed in the state is it was done according to population. And what we are proposing to do is change that, to have it done by mileage, the actual amount of roads within a given community. So that alone, we think, is a game changer. We also want to invest $200 million in culverts and small bridges that increase flood resilience, and we're going to make new investments in our RTAs, regional transit authorities, and microtransit solutions, which we think are really smart, especially for our rural areas. So again, just really thrilled to be here. I want to thank all of you in local government. You have to work and you have to do more with a lot less, and so I appreciate the work that is done day in and day out, and a lot of it is done, I know, on a volunteer basis. So know that we're a team that wants to support you, and to that end, I want to bring forth our great Secretary of Transportation, Monica Tibbetts-Nutt.
Thank you, Governor, and thank you all for having us here today. What we're really here to talk about is smart and targeted investment in infrastructure, and we know how much impact that has on a community. The Healey-Driscoll administration has put action behind these words, proposing $8 billion and a $100 million increase in Chapter 90 funding. Western Massachusetts is set to see transformative boost in the amount of money that they're receiving, 50 to 90% increase in resources. For Conway, that means 82% more in funding, critical support to recover from past flooding, and to build stronger and more resilient infrastructure for the future. Transportation is about more than just getting from A to B. It really is about strengthening our economy, ensuring public safety, and enhancing the quality of life for all residents, independent of where you live. A defining value of this administration is listening, and that is what today and many of the events we're doing around the Commonwealth is about, listening and getting out into the communities to see the projects in person, not just on paper, not just in the talking points we get, but to actually see the people who are impacted by these investments. These investments aren't abstract. They are focused on our bridges, on our roadways, on our culverts, which we spend a lot of time talking about, and especially in making it more capable for people to continue to live in these communities and for these communities to grow, for more people to move to these communities and be able to get more jobs and be able to get the type of education everyone wants. This is about ensuring, as I said, that independent of where you live in our 351 towns and cities, that you have the same quality of life. Governor Healey and Lieutenant Governor Driscoll, and I say this a lot, care. And when they talk about their priorities, they put money behind this. They put that investment into these projects, and they put the time in speaking to the residents themselves. This is an unbelievable group of administrators. This is an unbelievable group of elected officials. You are all so incredibly lucky, but we need to match that. And so not only are we out here today, my entire team at Mass.dot are going to be out in Greenfield tomorrow, talking about not just Chapter 90, but talking about passenger rail, talking about West-East Rail, talking about our regional transit authorities, and continuing to talk about how we are going to make up for decades of lack of funding for infrastructure and how we are going to take all of this momentum and this proposed budget and put this to work for all of you. So I just want to say thank you for hosting us. Thank you for always being so welcoming and spending your time to come out, meet with us, and tell us about the projects that are important to you. We're excited to continue this conversation, and like I said, we're excited just to continue to come back out here. So thank you, everyone, and we look forward to talking more about this over the next several months. Thank you.
Turn it over to you, Administrator. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I just want to, well, I'm Veronique Blanchard, Conway Town Administrator, and I just want to express my deepest gratitude to the entire team that is here because, as you all are aware, we were devastated by floods in 2023. And this group right here, this entire team, are the ones who got us through that. I just want to say that the Healey-Driscoll administration's focus on small and rural towns has increased both funding and administrative help for small towns like Conway, which is incredibly important. The addition of the Rural Affairs Office, led by Ann Goby, is incredibly important in having our issues both heard and addressed. Adjustments to programs such as Chapter 90, which take into account the struggle that towns with small populations but large numbers of road miles face in trying to maintain the structure, integrity, and safety of our roads, are essential for the small and rural towns. So I just want to say thank you on behalf of all of us for everything that you're doing for us. Very grateful.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Linda Dunleavy from the Franklin Regional Council of Governments, and I'm just going to reiterate a few of the points that already have been made. $100 million of Chapter 90, distributed by road miles only, increases the Chapter 90 allocation to Franklin County municipalities by, on average, 75%. That means that our towns can take the time to strategically think about how they are going to spend Chapter 90, rather than just addressing potholes and crack sealing and emergencies. This is going to be a game changer for our communities. We also know that on average, every municipality in Franklin County has 110 culverts that are in fair and poor condition. The pledge to expand the small bridge and culvert program to $200 million gives our municipalities the opportunity to fix those culverts before the next microburst storm that destroys our infrastructure. And the commitment to our RTAs allows us to expand the FRTA's access program, which is a microtransit program that gets our residents to jobs, to health care, to shopping in a manner that we've never been able to do with the traditional public transit system. And so I applaud the administration. I thank the governor for coming out again. And really, and thank you to all of the people here from Franklin County that support the COG, support our legislators, and support our administration. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Linda. Great. Thank you. Does any questions on topic? No? We're good? All right. Great. Well, thanks, everybody.